Okay, 4 o'clock. Thanks everyone for their attendance. The December Ordinary Council meeting. There's no obituaries. Record of attendance. We have myself, Councillor Darryl Hudson, Deputy Councillor Robert Trepp, and Councillors Jen Graffin, Councillor Chris Meekins, Councillor Jason Sewell, and we have Councillor Ash Jones. Did I say Ash Jones? What did I say? Yeah, Ash Jones and Councillor Metcalf is a leave of absence. Staff, we have our acting CEO, so welcome to Darren Molyneux. Thank you for stepping in for Manisha Barthakar's on annual leave. We have Carly Rose back from holidays. Welcome back, Carly. Manager of Governance, Community Services. Ben Forbes, the Manager of Infrastructure and Projects, and Kiara Skinner, who has been doing Carly's job in her absence. Well done, Kiara, who is our Compliance Officer. Apologies from Manisha and from Megan Shirt, who is our Acting Manager of Corporate Services. There is no public questions. Any disclosures of interest now? Shouldn't be. Or Councillor Jones. Jones, what was that item for? Please, Carly.
For the Australian Day Awards.
Australia Day Awards. Any applications for leave of absence, please, for January and February? On the holidays, anyone?
What day's the meeting in January?
11th of January, Australia Day, right?
No.
Oh, the meeting. Sorry, the meeting. 27th, day after Australia Day. You'll definitely be here. So no application for leave of absence, no petitions or presentations. We'll go to the confirmation of the previous meeting. The officer's recommendation number 7, that by simple majority pursuant to sections 25.22 and 3.18 of the Local Government Act, the minutes of the Ordinary Council meeting held the 25th November as presented in attachment 7.10 will be confirmed as a true and correct record of proceedings. Someone like to move that, please? Councillor Graffin, seconder. Councillor Jones, all those in favour? We have 6 left. And the minutes of the committee meetings, we have the Australia Day Awards meeting and the Audit Risk and Improvement Committee meeting. So, officer recommendation number 8, that by simple majority pursuant to sections 5.22 and 3.18 of the Local Government Act 95, the minutes of the Australia Day Awards Committee meeting, held on the 25th of November 25, as held in attachment 8.1A, and the minutes of the Audit Risk and Improvement Committee meeting held on, that should be now the 19th December, if we could just adjust that, please, Carly. December 2025 is presented in attachment 8.2A as being received. Someone like to move that, please? Councillor Trepp and Councillor Graffin seconded. All those in favour? It's carried 6 low. Okay. And recommendation from the committee meeting. So we have confidential item.
Yeah, I've got to go.
Yeah, okay. Councillor Jones is leaving the room. Just lost my spot. So does he really need to leave the room if we're not going to mention the names? Probably, yeah, because he can read it. Yeah, okay. So committee recommendation 9.11, that by simple majority the committee recommends that council that someone be awarded the Citizenship Award for 2026. I can't name it, can I? So, and someone else be awarded the 2026 Senior Citizen of the Year. All recipients will be announced and awards presented at the Monday 26th of January at the Australia Day breakfast. Someone like to move that, please? Councillor Trepp has moved it and Councillor Graffin has seconded it. All those in favour? It's carried 5 low. Could someone ask Councillor Jones to re-enter. We didn't have to debate that one. Pretty much a done deal. Audit Risk Improvement Committee was held today. Attachment, no, sorry. Okay, yeah, we had an amendment at the Audit and Risk Committee meeting. Actually, just a bit of explanation of the council that weren't at the Audit Committee meeting. There were some minor findings that the auditors picked up, and usually they pick them up in the interim report. Staff or CEO deals with the findings, and then the auditors go back and look at them. The auditors said there was 5 findings in the report, but haven't named them and wouldn't tell them and haven't written what they are. Yet they told the audit committee they need to be aware of those findings, and we don't know what they are. So the audit committee has decided that they will follow that up. Any questions on that?
Yeah. So if they won't give them the information, obviously we're paying.
I've never seen it before.
So they're not paying if we're paying auditors to do it and they're not giving the information, can we not pay the auditors until they give us information?
It's not through the chair. It's not the auditors. It's the Office of Auditor General that issues the letter.
So what's the point in? I don't understand why they wouldn't give us the.
Nor do we.
That's why we've moved an additional motion.
Yeah. So we put additional. We want. So there was 13 findings. Venetia's dealt with them all. 5. They're obviously minor. It's due with procedures, but the office won't tell us what they are. Yet that we've got to follow that up. So we're a bit upset about it. To say the least, I've never seen that before. Usually the findings are there and you go through them, and usually what it is they're still dealing with those findings. Some of them are quite minor. It might be to do we haven't done something in the procurement or something, and they've got it in hand and or in the process of changing it. But to not tell us, we don't know what, or Manisha probably does not know what she's got to fix up.
That's pointless.
Pointless. And we pay serious money for an auditor that we don't ask for. We're told which auditor we have. The Office of Auditor General, should be more understanding of our position, in my view. So we will follow that up. But in the meantime, so I'll just read the recommendation. 9.21, that in accordance with section 5.27, 5.29, 5.53 and 5.54 of the Local Government Act 95, Council by absolute majority, 1, accepts the 2024-25 annual report presented in attachment 9.21A for the 2024-25 financial year. 2, adopts the 2024-25 annual report as presented in attachment 9.21A for the 2024-25 financial year, and 3, conducts its annual electors meeting on Tuesday the 3rd of February 2026 at the Dowerin Community Club, East Street, Dowerin, commencing at 6 p.m. And 4, this is what we've added in, requests that management undertake further investigation and appropriate follow-up action to obtain from the Office of Auditor General and or the external auditor a final and updated list of audit findings, deficiencies and matters requiring assessment arising from the end of the year financial year audit, and that this information be provided to the CEO and reported to the Audit Risk and Improvement Committee and Council as soon as practicable. Is there any questions on any further questions on that? If there's none, would someone like to move that? Councillor Trepp, Councillor Graffin. Probably no comments. Does everyone like to vote on that, please? All in favour? It's carried 6-0. So announcements for the President without discussion. Thank Ben and his staff for what they've had to do in the last week. They've had fires, storms, and worked out of hours cleaning roads up and then a traffic accident yesterday. And if you can convey to Knowlesy and Russell and the rest of your staff that on behalf of the council, thanks very much for the job they've done, and yourself. A lot of that's out of hours. I know I should probably work most of Sunday night, and that's just one of them. So on behalf of the council, thank you guys, if you can convey that. This will be our last meeting for the year, so wish everyone a Merry Christmas and all that, and have a great break. And I'd like to thank Darren for the job he's done stepping in Manisha's shoes while she's away. So great to work with Darren. And that's all I have as a president. Going to the financial activity statement. Had some discussion about that. Is any further comments to what we discussed in the workshop? No. Read the motion. Officer's recommendation 11.1 that council by simple majority pursuant to regulation 34 of the local government financial management regulations 96 receives the draft statutory financial activity statement report for the period of November 2025 as presented in attachment 11.1a. Someone like to move that, please? Councillor Sewell. Seconder, Councillor Graffin. All those in favour? That's carried 6-0. List of accounts paid. Queries were answered. Any further questions, queries? There's none. I'll read the officer recommendation 11.2 that council by simple majority pursuant to section 6.8 of the Local Government Act 95 and regulations 12 and 13 of the Local Government Financial Management Regulations 96 receives the report from the CEO on the exercise of delegated authority in relation to creditor payments from the Shire of Dowerin Muni Fund as presented attachment 11.2a and as detailed below. Someone like to move that, please? Councillor Trepp, seconded Councillor Graffin. All those in favour? That's carried 6-0. Thank you, councillors. The Shire replacement generator budget amendment consideration. So have we got a motion there, please, Carly? I can remember it. Officer recommendation 11.3 that council by absolute majority in accordance with section 6.81b and 6.112 of the Local Government Act 95, Regulation 33A of the Local Government Financial Management Regulations 96 resolves to 1. Approve an amendment to the 2025-26 budget to purchase a new generator for the Shire office of $14,900. 2. Approve the allocation of $7,400 of the plant replacement reserve to fund the purchase of an Able LG 50X 350 kVA generator. Include a provision in the 2025-26 budget for income relating to the disposal of the existing generator with a budget review in February 2026. Would someone like to move that motion, please? Councillor Meekins has moved it. Councillor Trepp has seconded it. Would you like to speak for the motion, Councillor Meekins?
I think it's, yeah, can do. I think it's probably a good compromise, not a lot of money to spend considering what we need to have the Shire 100 generator. So.
Councillor Trepp?
Yes, I think myself it's a no-brainer. We were without power for the last, 1.5 days, I believe it was, after the recent thunderstorms. We had a councillor training session Tuesday the week before, which were without power. As Councillor Meekins and I calculated earlier, the daily salaries of the office or the whole council staff is about $5,000 a day that we approved in their council payment. 3 days being without power, people's time and utility more than pays for it.
I'd like to speak against the motion.
Yeah,
Councillor Sewell.
I think it's a poor decision to go ahead with it. I've had no utilisation figures presented by staff for the previous generator. We had grant funding on the table. We're not waiting for that, so we're being a bit hasty, and I would have preferred mobility so it could be more flexible in the community. Thanks.
Anyone else like to speak for the motion? Anyone like to speak against the motion? And we move to a vote. All those in favour? Against? Councillor Sewell votes against, so we have 5-1 on my maths. Thanks, councillors, and we appreciate your input, Councillor Sewell. So we go 12.2, appointment of a representative to the SIACA committee. I thank Councillor Trepp for putting his hand up for this. Officer recommendation 12.2 that council, in accordance with section 5.11 of the Local Government Act 95, appoints Councillor Robert Trepp, Deputy Shire President, as the Shire of Dowerin representative of the Central East Accommodation and Care Alliance, SIACA Management Committee. So would someone like to move that, please? Actually, I'll move that. Councillor Sewell has seconded it. All those in favour? I don't think we're going to have a debate on that.
I was going to make a comment.
Would you like to make a comment now?
Oh, just so everyone's aware, this a special purpose vehicle had to be formed in order to house the proposed assets, and being a not-for-profit organisation and being a committee member, all committee members had to undergo rigorous checks, including police clearances, etc., which was quite time-consuming to obtain. I'll just leave it at that.
Thanks, Councillor Trepp. I do appreciate you already spent a bit of time on that as well, so thank you. So we've got a couple of late items, Carly. Late item, the first one, New Rock Joint Affordable Key Housing Project, Regional Support Fund. We applied to try and get some more housing. Officer recommendation 14.1 by the absolute majority of council. 1. Supports New Rock progressing with the submission of a joint application to the State Government's Regional Housing Support Fund, New Rock Affordable and Key Housing Project. 2. Endorses Lot 28 Goldfields Road, Dowerin, as the site of the construction of the Dowerin's dwellings, and that's the site of the old community, or the old bowling club. 3. Endorses in principle a financial contribution of $225,758 towards the Shire of Dowerin's component of the project for the construction of 4 modular group dwellings. That's 3 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom units and 1 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom units on Lot 28 Goldfields Road, Dowerin. 4. Confirms that should the grant application be successful, the Shire's contribution will comprise of A cash contribution of $130,758 to be funded from the council's land and building reserve, and 2. An in-kind contribution of $95,000 representing the value of the land at Lot 28 Goldfields Road, Dowerin. Authorise the acting CEO to provide a letter to New Rock confirming the Shire of Dowerin's principal support for the joint RHSF application and outlining the details of council's project contribution. Is there any questions before we move on? If not, sorry.
Just to note that land value, some people might consider that high. That consists of 3 blocks. So it's $30,000 per block.
Yes. Okay. Someone like to move that motion, please? Councillor Meekins has moved it and Councillor Trepp has seconded it. All those in favour? It's carried 6-1. And the last item, regarding the lights for the football oval, a donation to the Dowerin Football Club from the Shire.
Refresh it.
Actually, written
So we've had a presentation from the football club, which was very well done. And so there's a recommendation that by simple majority in accordance with section 6.2 of the Local Government Act, Council 1 approves a community donation of $12,000 to the Dowerin Football Club as a contribution towards the upgrading of lighting infrastructure at the Dowerin Recreation Centre. And 2, notes the funds will be replenished from the Recreation Reserve at the mid-year budget review. Would someone like to move that, please? Councillor Jones has moved it and Councillor Sewell has seconded. Would either of you gentlemen like to speak to the motion? No. Does anyone like to speak against the motion? There's no discussion, then I'll put the vote forward. All those in favour? And that's carried 6-0. Thank you, councillors. No officers' reports, no urgent business, no elected members' motions, and we have no matters behind closed doors. We did expect a visitor today with Mr. Guy Conlon to discuss some matters of his house, but he has not turned up, which is unfortunate. But with that, I'll close the meeting and thank you all for your attendance.